Yo, 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 what is up? What is up, YouTube Boxing family? It's K right here, back at it with another good video or good stream for you guys today. And yeah, here we go. Um, yeah, sup, Mr. Skywalker Boxing. Thank you for coming through, Tim. Give me 1 second. Just need to get the link set up for Hive, and after that, we'll be straight. So I'm also live on Instagram too. So just to get you guys ready. But hold on, let me get this link, ready for whatchamacallit. Wait, hold on. All right. Um, all right, give me 1 second. Try it again. All right, here we go. All right, sweet. All right, sweet, 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 sweet. All right. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. It took me to like that sign in with Facebook or YouTube thing. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Oh,
But yeah. Yeah, I'm here. So
nice. All right, sweet. So yeah. What do you want to talk about? Like, what's your thoughts on the fights?
well, you know, interesting enough, I mean I was rather excited for the situation, but I was disappointed. I was disappointed. I got my last two picks wrong. I mean, I'm glad Johnny Rice beat Vianello or Guido or whatever the fuck his name is. But I had Guido outbox him until that cut because I picked Guido to win. But yeah, I had him outboxing him until that cut. So good for Johnny Rice. But fucking Stephen Shaw, oh my god, he just went in there on one of the basically the biggest fight of his career, and he laid a fucking egg. He laid an egg. I picked him by decision, and he just sat there while Jagba just jabbed him to death. Kind of similar to what AJ did to Andy Ruiz in their second fight. It just pissed me off, to be honest. I didn't
Really?
enjoy. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like looking at it. Not only because Shaw lost, but because it wasn't the best fight in the world. I mean, Ajagba was scared shitless because Frank Sanchez almost knocked his ass out, and Frank Sanchez isn't no monster puncher, so of course he was on his game. But Stephen Shaw came in looking fit, looking more in shape, and he just sat there and watched himself lose. He didn't try to mix it up on the inside, didn't take any risks. He just fucking sat there. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm writing Stephen Shaw off, but he's gonna have to earn my support again. That was whatever. That was whatever. That was whatever ass performance.
Yeah, that's really crazy that you say that because honestly, like, I wasn't really expecting, Shaw to like lose, but like I can understand why you why you think he lost because I thought he was winning, but surprisingly, I don't know, like I guess maybe it's just because he doesn't want to trade with like FA because FA, he is like the more dangerous puncher out of the two, but I think maybe it could have just been his like work rate as a as a fighter, and surprisingly, like he just really made Fa like gain more confidence and actually do what he wanted to do to him, and it was very shocking because like I was just thinking like he's just gonna run right through Fa and actually beat him, but yeah, like I was like very disappointed as well because like I wanted him to stop him, and I actually thought Fa was going to get demolished because Shaw's style is like all wrong for him, and I didn't think Fa really did anything other than just try to throw like a couple punches here and there just to gain very little success.
Yeah, like my thing is, after about 5 rounds, after about five, 6 rounds, when you understand that you're losing on the cards, why didn't the game plan change? Stephen Shaw didn't push the action. He didn't jab his way in. He didn't run any combinations on the inside. He didn't go to the body at all. He showed more gumption going after Joey DeWaco and Pinchuk than he did with a Ajagba. Like with Pinchuk, he threw every punch in the book, uppercuts, left hooks, right hooks, body shots, all kinds of stuff. FA's big ass is there to be hit. I understand he has a right hand because he's Deontay Wilder from Wish, But Fa is not some defensive master. That's why he almost got stopped by Frank Sanchez, who's not a massive puncher himself. But Shaw, all Shaw did was show me that he doesn't have the extra gear so far. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was super concerned about FA's power and didn't want to get knocked out on ESPN. I get that, but still, I mean, you're over there. This is the biggest opportunity you've had, and you signed the top rank. Well, you're with Develop, but you signed with top rank now, and you're going in there with someone as stiff as a jog. But you're not even going to try to go to the body. You're not going to run your combos at all. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to sit there and let them jab you to fucking death. That's it. That shit reminded me of fucking Oscar Rivas versus Dillian White. Oscar Rivas just sat there while Dillian White jabbed his ass and moved the entire fight. That's all Ajagba did. And in fact, Ajagba was backing Shaw, which, I mean, I understand Shaw is a smaller fighter, but, you have the hand speed advantage. And, I'm not saying that Shaw is some kind of power puncher, but, I mean, still, once you realize that you're down on the card, you have to make some adjustments. Shaw just sat there and allowed himself to lose the rest of the fight, and then that's what kind of stunk it up. It didn't try to make it interesting, didn't do anything, didn't close the distance, didn't hold, didn't try any more punch variation. He just sat there and allowed himself to lose, which was like, it was like whatever, man. I was kind of mad. I was like, wow, fucking shit. But anyways, it's what it is.
Yeah, I don't disagree now, because now it's really making me reconsider that Shaw had the opportunity to win, or it made me think like he actually had any clarity to win. But I think honestly it's just all due to maybe the mental fortitude going into a fight with a Jagba, because I think he was more concerned about him getting hurt against a Jagba's punches. And Shaw, he's been hurt by like some pretty decent hitters in the heavyweight division, but for most of his fights, he hasn't really faced an opponent that has actually went in there and actually tried to hurt him, to like force him to get knocked down, or at least be in like a survival mode setting. So I think, like, honestly, it's just all due to you being consistent, and you not being like afraid to take any challenge that's there. But on top of that, with FA's case, this is supposed to be like, honestly, this is supposed to be the opponent that you were supposed to dominate. And even though that this is top ranks fighter, and you're just more of what the B side coming in, I think it just clearly showed that Shaw, he needed to facilitate himself a bit higher to make himself more valuable heading into that fight. But I think either way, like, he should really consider trying to be more aggressive in his fights more, if he's trying to solidify victories at that level.
I mean, it was a showcase fight for both of them. The winner was going to move forward, and the loser was going to fall behind and be fed to someone. And that's perfectly fine. But like I was saying, he just allowed himself to sit there, lose, didn't do anything different. And what's worse is that he could have taken advantage of Ajagba having just lost. Ajagba had lost and probably still had some PTSD from that wicked uppercut that Sanchez gave. He didn't capitalize on any of that. Shaw was the one that was undefeated. This was a step up fight for Shaw to show where he's at. And if you can't beat Ajagba, who the fuck are you beating at heavyweight? Let's keep it real. And then to make matters worse, Shaw is already small. Shaw is already small. He's already a small ass heavyweight. He doesn't have. I mean, he has punching power. Don't get it twisted, but he doesn't have the extreme amount of punching power that we see at heavyweight. So, it's like who the fuck are you beating? If you can't beat Ajagba, those these are the fucking B plus B minus ass dudes you need to be clearing. Like now, based on what I'm seeing, fucking Stephen Shaw versus Dillian White is probably competitive. Shit. I mean, shit. I might fucking favor Dillian White in that. I don't know. So yeah, man. It's just making me look at the whole situation a whole lot different. And like I said, it was just disappointing to watch. Like now I'm looking at dudes like Hergovich and being like, shit, they might actually get over on Shaw. You know what I'm saying? So Like I said, I just didn't like the shit. Like I said, I'm glad Johnny Rice got a dub. I picked against him, but I'm glad he proved me wrong, getting that good punch off that they almost screwed him out of. Top Rank was trying to protect their guy. They didn't want him to get upset, and he did. So that was always good to
Yeah. I actually thought, the referee was going to try to find a way to, rob Johnny, and good enough. The commission stood in or stepped in, and they actually gave, um, the victory to him. So,
see. That shit is
I'm
hilarious.
happy.
The New York State Athletic Commission straight up said they don't do replay, but then they ended up doing replay to give Johnny Rice the victory. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. You dudes, you dudes clearly are fraudulent. You tried to go in there and rob that man blind on national television, and the fans and the judges and the fans and the crowd and the management, the individual boxers management were not having it. They were not about to sit there and let their fighter get robbed, and I'm glad. And I'm glad because Top Rank is always full of shit. Top Rank is always something. Always some weird, always some super weird fuck shit that happens on Top Rank. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, it's the same thing. What happened with, like, I saw that female fight the other day, or that following Friday. I think it was the Jessica Neri and the Kim Clavel fight, and Jessica Neri, she beat her, but if you just go back and watch that fight, like Kim's face was like all bludgeoned up. She was already bruised up, and her face looked way more destructive compared to Guido's face, in which Guido's face was already about to be destroyed. If Johnny Rice had his opportunity to hurt him more, but the point is like there's a huge double standard for men's boxing where TKOs are not even like being looked at properly because like I even watched a YouTuber like a KSI card, and some of these weird people were trying to say like, oh, TKOs are justified when like a fighter can't continue, but that's not what a TKO is. Like a TKO is when you throw more punches to create more unresponsive action of another fighter to not fight back, and that's technically a TKO. But in terms of you causing any cuts or any like major bruises, like that could be considered a TKO as well, because if you're being more powerful off of your punches to apply more damage to win, then there shouldn't be any reason for you to not have any a justice for you not to have a TKO victory, because TKOs are supposed to be decisions made by the doctor or the referee, to which it should be determined by a doctor to determine that you can't take any more punches. And obviously that's like a really hard call to go by, because not every fighter wants to go through that to quit. But I think when it comes down to it, like if that some punch ripped pretty much almost half of like your face away due to a big punch landed or accidental headbutt or some form of a clash, like either way, like you don't deserve to have let the fight continue. And the referee or the commission shouldn't have any power to try to prevent the opportunity being stolen away from the fighter that deserved the TKO victory. So
Well, everything except you going to sleep or you not coming out of the corner to fight is technically a TKO. So everything that falls in between that is a TKO. So I didn't really watch the YouTuber card. I think I watched KSI's fight only, and I saw he smoked that dude in like two punches or whatever. So yeah, but that's weird. But as far as the rest of the fucking top rank, this is actually not a terrible card. I actually enjoyed the card. I just didn't like the outcomes. But one dude I saw, what's his name? Brian Norman Jr. This dude is
yeah.
the ultimate badass in sparring. Let me tell you, needs some straightening. Needs a lot of straightening, because what the fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong. He did well. He came at that guy, but he pulled a Rashidi Ellis, except he gassed out in the first round. He
Yeah.
went in there, he went in there, yeah, he went in there, shot his load, tried to get the dude out of there to look spectacular on his top ranked debut, and he ended up just doing all this weird stuff. He got a lot of good punches in, but the guy was able to deflect a lot of them, and then he started jabbing and countering him. So yeah, with more experienced opposition, that's not going to bode well for Brian Norman. So we got to do some straightening. Brian has got to listen to his father more often because his father was trying to give him good instructions. He wasn't listening. So yeah, I'm gonna need to see Brian Norman Jr. tighten the fuck up, especially if you're gonna be competing at welterweight. Because welterweight is a fucking monstrous division, and you talking all this big shit about how you lighting up dudes and like, oh, I was whooping Terrence Crawford ass this morning. Yeah, okay, I don't see all that.
Yeah.
I need some fucking improvements, or else that's just a bunch of fucking hogwash.
Yeah. I was going to talk about that. Brian Norman Jr. He is a good fighter, but that Argentinian dude, I kid you not, he was piecing him up so bad to the point where it made me kind of look like, or it made me kind of think that Brian could have been stopped. And I truly believe that Argentinian, if he had power, I think that would have made the fight a lot more different, because his style was like all wrong for Brian. And I'm only saying that because what he was doing, he was trying to make it go the distance, but he was trying to force it to like a deep water situation where Brian, he's wasting all this energy, but then sooner than later, when it comes down to you actually, um, getting to that level of you taking like a big shot and possibly getting severely hurt, I think that's where his weakness was to be exposed, because the Argentinian guy they fought, Coria, he did a good job trying to make let the fight very competitive, late game. But I think his issue that he allowed Brian to get to was that Brian was able to hurt him consistently, and I just didn't like like the fact that he didn't actually even work with the body early, because I think that was his biggest issue too, because Brian was like wide open for mad body shots, and he was getting hurt and he was slowing down. But I think if Poirier, if he applied more shots to the body, he definitely would have gotten Brian a lot more exhausted and a lot more tempered by trying to throw more punches, and it definitely would have been like a different fight. But I think if Poirier, if he had power in that fight, I think I personally think Brian definitely would have been stopped.
Well, I didn't see a version of that where Brian Norman gets stopped, but I'll tell you that he was making the rounds a lot closer than they needed to be, and the lack of body work was apparent. He went like in the beginning of his initial flurry, he did good going to the body and head. That was cool. But when he found out that shit didn't work, he just kept doing it, didn't make any adjustments, didn't start jabbing. Did and then he did it again like the fucking how many rounds? He went. They had a yeah, around like the seventh, eighth round, he did the same shit. I'm like, bro, did you not just see that shit fail in the first round? That's not gonna happen. You gotta actually put in some work. You gotta break these guys. You gotta break these guys down so if you actually want to get these knockouts. But yeah, no, he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. He wasn't listening to his father. He rushed it, tried to look super good, and it didn't go over well. And people were trying to compare that to Jerron Ennis performance. I'm like, no, Jerron Ennis was not in there getting tagged the fuck up on the inside, all types of crazy. Jerron Ennis just, was moving around. Sure he had a few leaping left hooks, but he wasn't taking as much punishment as Brian Norman's ass was. I'll tell you that. So it was just a lot of stuff you don't like to see. Hopefully he tightens up, listens to his dad, and actually focuses, because good fighters will test a fighter's strengths. Great fighters test fighters' weaknesses. And everybody knows that if you don't have any one punch, if you don't have ridiculous one punch Wilder, Tank, or like crazy clubbing power like Better Biev, you have to put in some work to get your knockouts. You have to start early, open them up with your jab, and steadily go to the body to wear them down. Specifically, wear them down on by hitting their diaphragm to where their legs slow up. That's what Spence did with Ugas, and that's what all good body punchers do. And Brian Norman didn't want to put in that work. He thought he was that guy. He had knocked out some trash, and clearly didn't do enough research on his opponent. And as soon as he got in there with a real, with someone reasonably solid, he looked like that. So, at welterweight, he got some straightening. He got some straightening to do, and I hope he goes and does it.
Yeah, and the sad part about it is like he's already like 23 fights in, so I don't know how far he's gonna scale at welterweight, but I just think based off of what I'm seeing, like he's not going to do well. I don't think he's going to be any of the up and coming guys in the welterweight division. I mean, if we're
And I thought he
talking,
was at 154. I really did. I thought he was at 154. I don't like.
oh yeah, at 154, like I think that's even way more deadlier for him.
I'm gonna put his welterweight's a better division. Oh no, he's always been a welterweight. Oh well,
Yeah,
no,
he's always been like a career welterweight.
well, no, that's not true. He fought his first fight ever was 142. Then he went to 140. Then he went down to lightweight. He spent some time hovering around 140. Then he went up to 147 because he didn't make it. Honestly, the way the field is at 154, he might want to just get the fuck up out of here. And also he weighed in at 149 this fight. So what the fuck? Can this dude even make welterweight convincingly? Because if he's draining, because bro, it doesn't make any sense. If he's draining himself to make welterweight, why would you drain yourself to make the more dangerous division? Welterweight is more dangerous than 154. There's only like 5 dudes up there. Like people don't understand. 154, a lot of the dudes up there are washed or they're about to retire. Like a lot of dudes like Lubin, Harrison, all the top guys, they're cool, but they are washed and they have been knocked out before. Only sharks up there is like Fedora, Castano, Charlo, and a few other random dudes. Everybody else is like 154 is not some super gangster division. It was cool watching all the dudes fight, but now that the cream of the crop done risen and all the bitch niggas that got weeded out, it's not like a superstar division no more.
Yeah, I don't even think like guys that will move up to that division, like Jaron Ennis or Errol Spence, and those guys would ever really stay there for that long. But all of what the rookie talent like Xander Zayas and all those guys, like I think they're gonna get cleared.
Which is, I mean, yeah, and then a lot of the dudes from welterweight. I mean, I don't mean to shit on them, but they're gonna get credit for just moving up and weight and fighting these dudes. Where it's like these dudes are already leftovers. Like Tony Harrison's been knocked out 3 fucking times. I'm not saying that's not a good W, but come on now. I mean, his limitations have been seen. His limitations have been studied and they've been seen. He's decent when it comes to intelligent pressure. Can't handle it. His chin is there to be touched. I mean, he has some decent defense, but his body attack isn't there. So, he's a good boxer. He's talented and everything, but his limitations are there. Lupin, his limitations are there. Very talented, very powerful, very strong, but can be hit. Might have a nerve issue with his chin because, I remember when it was him and fucking, what was his name? Him and Terrell Gachet were fighting, and Terrell Gachet had him on Queer Street for a little bit. So, there's that. And then there's all these random ass motherfucking prospects like Joey Spencer and fucking Bill Nicky and all these random ass dudes. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess because they're undefeated and young, you'll get some credit. But like, come on, they're not like fucking Virgil or Stanionis. They're not making like real noise. Like dudes like Jesus Ramos, like yeah. Like, Jesus Ramos is good, but the rest of these dudes, I mean, they're just gonna get credit for moving up in weight. They're not gonna get like a lot of resume credit for the dudes they've been fighting, unless they take out a Charlo or Castano or Fedora type.
Yeah, like I mean, like another good fighter at super welterweight is Brian Mendoza, but I don't think he's super duper good. But
I mean, yeah, Mendoza's cool. I mean, he's not like some amazing world beater, but I mean, he's cool. He's definitely a good little dub if you can get it. He's growing. He's gaining more experience. He's actually improving his game plan, which is something you rarely see from fighters after a loss because Jesus Ramos beat his ass. And yeah, so I like I like to see that. Hopefully he can make a little bit of a better run. But yeah, they're just gonna get credit for moving up. They're just gonna get credit for moving up in weight and fighting people that are supposed to be bigger than them. As far as the names that they're gonna actually clear, I don't know about all that. So Brian Norman, if he can't tighten up, he might be better served by just going up in weight because, like I said, the 154 is definitely a lighter division than welterweight. Welterweight's got far more killers.
yeah, definitely. I was going to even ask like about 140, but what's the deal with Super Matias and Ponce? Like, did I hear that got pushed out to February 25th?
I don't know. I haven't been keeping track of that news. I mean, whenever, excuse me, whenever Ponce decides to unfuck himself and fight, then that'll happen. But I haven't even been keeping track. I mean, I've been mostly focused on Regis. And nobody wants to fight Regis, and for good reason, because he whooped the shit out of Zepeda. Jose Ramirez straight ducked, so that was pathetic. But then again, Jose Ramirez has always been B level, so I'm not surprised. Regis knocked him the fuck out. Josh Taylor definitely don't want that again because he lost the first time. TFM's bitch ass is gonna fight Regis. They're talking shit, but they're not gonna fight Regis. They didn't even want to fight Devin Haney, and Devin Haney is not a known puncher. Why the fuck would they fight Regis? So it's sad. It's sad. Regis finally gets back on top, gets another belt, and now nobody wants any smoke. It's terrible. And he's 34, so he's got to work. He's got to work. He's got to make money. He's got to fight while he still can.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. Because I was just thinking about what's gonna happen if nobody can't fight him. But
I mean, he should unify. Puello's right there. I mean, I heard that Puello might be trying to. I heard that Gary Antoine Russell might be getting a Puello shot, but if they're not working on that, then shit, you may as well unify, and then the winner, whoever survives, can just lose to Gary Antoine.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Antoine will be a unified champ, and then he can run that division because somebody got to fight. Goddamn. Some of these motherfuckers got to fight. Like I said, if you're gonna I don't like about the dudes like Tiafimo that he'll get in the rankings, he'll occupy a number one spot, and then all of a sudden turn into Jaime Munguia and not want to fight anybody. No, just stay your bitch ass out the rankings and stop doing eliminators.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how it's really going down. Um, I was going to say, like, as far as the other fights on the card, there was some other fighters, like Haven Brady Jr., Abraham Nova. What did you think about those performances?
I'm not gonna lie. Haven Brady Jr. I like Bozy Ennis. I have a lot of respect for him. I'm not high on Haven Brady Jr. at all. I don't see anything that he does particularly special. He doesn't seem particularly fast or strong. He shows some good boxing ability, good boxing IQ. He has good schooling, but I'm not sure his physical capabilities are going to be up to par to compete at the highest level. Because Haven, I got this guy.
Hmm.
This motherfucker, he fights at 140.
I think he fights at 130.
Oh, he weighed in at 133.
Yeah.
Okay.
He should just move up to lightweight. He's not a natural.
So he fights at 130. No, he should stay his ass at 130 for as long as humanly possible. He does not need to move to lightweight. That's too much talent up there. Get his ass ripped. Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's just he's cool, but he's undefeated right now. But I think he's B level to me. He's B minus level. He's future gatekeeper level. Like I said, I don't see anything particularly special. He'll be fighting off the back foot. He struggles. His active defense, he struggles. Keeping his jab active to keep people off of him, he struggles. And like I said, the punching power is out of 9 fights, you have 4 KOs. Like, nah, this is gonna get ran over at some point. And it's sad to say because he's cool. Like I said, I like both Ennis, but nah, this is not the one here. He's gonna look cool for a while, but eventually he's just gonna if you're gonna step up his comp, he's gonna lose. He's gonna get outboxed for a while. He's gonna get smoked. He's gonna get knocked out. Um, Abraham Nova. So I know Adam Lopez is a solid workman and throws a lot of punches and stuff, but Abraham Nova apparently got some of his power back, and he had Adam Lopez scared to throw. I thought Abraham Nova was cool. I thought he did well. The defense was something that he claimed he was working on, which I would have liked to see more of. He was in there banging in the pocket. But then again, Adam Lopez isn't a puncher, which is another thing I found weird about Lopez. I'm like, dude, why do you do like Warrington? You always bang in the pocket like you have power, and you know you don't have power. That's just always been weird to me. Like, why do you go try to bang in the pocket and you know you don't have any fucking power whatsoever? That's like all of a sudden if I see Devin Haney trying to fight like Chocolatito, like what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Why are you doing that? You do not have the power to intimidate someone like that. So yeah, I thought Adam Lopez chose the wrong game plan, but nah, aside from getting hit clean, some a few times, and if that was a real puncher, then Nova would have been in deep shit. Nova did good. Nova did good. So hopefully he stays at 130. When it comes to dudes like Ray Vargas, I don't know if Nova's going to beat that type of dude, but there's anything's possible. I suppose he could do some damage.
Yeah, yeah. I think Nova did a pretty good, exceptional job. The only thing I really, you know, um, criticize is the defense. He tends to try to bang more than just box, and I think that's where he needs to just focus on his fundamentals more, because he's really good at boxing when he does box, but just trying to bang it out, trying to act like you're gonna try to stop somebody. I don't think that's a good idea, especially when you're trying to get yourself prepared for the world title fights. I think it's just not like a good recipe, and I think Nova should just focus on getting the fundamental flaws fixed. So therefore, once he gets up the call to try to get up to like a title, eliminator or world title opportunity, just have that seasoned already. So therefore, you don't have to look really bad against any potential opposition that's going to be very difficult in the coming fights.
Right. Especially if you're in a situation, especially if you're in a situation where your style and your physical attributes don't even like you don't even necessarily suit all of that. Like Abraham Nova is not the type that trains for the knockout. He trains to box. So when you take that and then all of a sudden you're over here, training for you train for boxing. You train for boxing and then you try to go for the stoppage in a fight from the beginning. You look kind of crazy, which is exactly why he looked the way he looked. Whereas certain fighters like Beterbiev, Inoue, Tank, they train for stoppages specifically, so they fight like that. So I think that Nova Nova is going to have to come back to the table, make some adjustments, and hopefully we see a bit of a better showing. Because if he gets in there with dudes that have really fast hands or are big punchers, like a Navarrete, I don't know if that's going to go over well.
Yeah, yeah, that's like my biggest concern right now, because Ray Vargas, he could definitely hit, and Navarrete, we'll see how well he scales at 130 with Valdez, but I think he's like a big threat too. But
Oh no, I see dudes like Valdez. Valdez is fucking marginal, and he's gonna get it, and that's gonna
no,
get
no, 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 no. I think Nova washes him, but Navarrete, with him being awkward, I think that's something that I'm concerned about, because I just think like Navarrete, he's like
also
he's very
Navarrete
good.
got a chin.
Oh wait, what?
I said, and also Navarrete got a chin. Abraham Nova comes in there doing all that, wacky doodle do shit, and it turns into a shootout. He's not gonna knock Navarrete out.
Yeah, yeah. That's why that I don't like want that type of style to even be introduced, because Navarrete, he's just gonna take advantage of that, and he's gonna find his rhythm, and then he's gonna knock him out.
Yeah, so yeah, but, yeah, exactly. So that I need to see some improvements on. But other than that, good job. I mean, he was close to having Adam Lopez out of there. He just couldn't finish him for different reasons. But yeah, Dante Benjamin. I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed with Dante Benjamin. I know the
Oh
dude.
yeah,
I know the
Yep.
dude he was fighting wasn't shit, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, the way he put his punches together on the inside, he turned all his hooks in. That was good. I like that performance from Dante Benjamin. I mean, that guy pretty much served himself up on a silver platter because he was in love with his power and thought he didn't need defense, and he found out the hard way that he was wrong. So I get that, but still, watching Dante Benjamin work, he had some defensive responsibility, he put his punches together very well, and he cleared that dude. So that was cool. I definitely like what I saw from him, especially in the light heavyweight division. Having that kind of hand speed, that's actually pretty solid. So, yeah, that was a cool little performance. Um, and then there's Bruce Carrington. So I like Shushu. Don't get me wrong, I like him, but I mean, I'm not saying he's getting too much credit right now, but I think that one highlight reel knockout he got, people are kind of still geeked up off that and are ignoring the rest of the man. You know, because I not only do I see some holes, but I just see some limitations in general. Luckily, he's fighting at featherweight, or is he? Bruce
He
Campbell?
can't even make featherweight, man.
Oh, he's fighting at super featherweight. Okay, yeah. So yeah, yeah, he's fighting at 130. So at 130 he'll be cool, but anything north of that he's going to struggle. So he should make 130 for as long as humanly possible. Wait till some of the threats come out of lightweight because at lightweight right now, because Shushu is huge, and I completely understand why he's sucking himself down to make 130 because at lightweight he'll get mopped. He'll get mopped by a lot of different people like that. Like Shushu's the kind of dude that Michelle Rivera could probably stop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so he should probably just go ahead and hang out and chill, maybe get like 10, 15 fights before even thinking about lightweight. Wait till some of them dudes move up and some of the field clear out because he wouldn't survive at lightweight. He would be fucking lunching.
Yeah, yeah. I like the performance. I think Juan Antonio Lopez, that was the perfect fight for him to just get his rounds banked in and try to get that good experience in. I think the problem with Carrington is just that he doesn't like to box off of his back foot a lot. He likes to come front foot heavy, and I think when that time comes, I think someone's going to stop him. When he starts to get hit with something heavy, and then he's not, like accustomed to like fighting, off of his back foot while he's hurt, and I just don't like how the opponents he's blowing out now is like that's really getting him ready for being fast tracked for like a world title, because I would assume that's what Top Rank is probably going to do if he wants to go that route, because if you're doing that, especially at 130, it's not bad, because like I don't think there's any guys out there that's going to really beat him, but I think when the time comes,
What, Shushu?
yeah, for Shushu.
Man, George Cordino will beat his ass. Fucking Shushu is the type of nigga to struggle with Ogawa and like, dude. Honestly, the current champions would have a good chance of beating his ass. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, no disrespect, but let me look up these rankings right quick.
Oh man, you said Joe Cordina?
Joe Cordina's good, and people are currently sleeping on that. But
White people got hands in boxing.
I mean, he's one of the rare British dudes that can actually fight.
Yeah,
he can actually fight. But yeah, like George,
I gotta give him his props.
Yeah, like George Cordina is the type to probably beat his ass. Shit, fucking what's his name? Hector Garcia that just fought Tank probably beat his ass.
Hector would beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. Lamont Roach could probably do something with him. I don't know if Lamont will win that one, but it depends. But dudes like Ogawa, dudes like Ogawa, fucking Ramikov, like Cordina, they'll get his ass.
I mean, he might be Zelfa Barrett.
Well, that's Zelfa fucking sucks. I don't understand what the fuck Hearn trying to do with his ass. That nigga sucks.
What's up, mate? This is Zelfa Barrett here.
That just fucking he already has 2 fucking losses because he sucks. And then I watched him get his ass whooped by fucking Kiko Martinez. And then this didn't. And oh yeah, this nigga just got stopped by Ramnikov. Yeah, dude, this nigga sucks, bro.
You got stopped by like a guy that got his ass beat.
I mean, Ramnikov's not bad. He's just not super skilled. But he can punch though, right? That's the thing. Ramnikov can punch.
Yeah,
Ramnikov,
yeah.
yeah,
He
Ramnikov is not to be fucked with on the punching test. Boxing ability is incredibly limited, but he can punch. I personally thought he beat JoJo Diaz. So
Yeah, I thought so too. That fight didn't even look, like a JoJo Diaz victory.
Yeah, that shit was home cooking. I thought that shit was at least a draw, but he was fighting him in LA, so that'll happen. But yeah, no, yeah, Ramnikov came and just knocked the shit, just slapped the shit out of fucking Zelda. So yeah, that's whatever.
Yeah, there's this one Dominican fighter, that I can guarantee you right now that would beat him. And I don't know if you've seen him fight, but his name is Luis Reynaldo Nunez. And man, he is a beast. Like, he's an absolute monster. And I think if that fight ever gets made, I think Reynaldo Nunez would knock him out badly.
I mean, shit. Like I said, he got a unanimous decision against Kiko Old Ass Martinez with double-digit losses, and I thought he lost to Kiko. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. Like a lot of people would be like, that's the type of nigga Tank could cut down to 130 and smoke in like 5 rounds.
No. Like, I'm talking about Shushu.
Oh, well, yeah, Shushu's got 5 fucking fights, so we got to see. But people are like, oh, I like Shushu. Da, da, da. I think it's honestly Top Rank retaining all these Olympians. They still get stuck on that amateur ass point system, like trying to score.
Do.
Yeah, trying to score points and shit. They understand the art of boxing very well, but they forget how to fight. That's why when they come up against people who aren't from the United States or maybe who aren't even from Mexico, and they start fighting them, they get their asses beat. Like when they start fighting dudes from Argentina or Kazakhstan, Russia, different places where the amateur system is about getting rough. These dudes struggle.
So does it mean that you have to work on your professional style before you even make your debut, or like if I'm like already seasoned as a professional fighter with a good style, then does that does that negate the fact that going through the amateur system makes you better?
The amateur system is a good place to refine all your boxing skills and fine tune your hand-eye coordination because the whole premise is based off of scoring. So in order to prevent the enemy from scoring, you have to be more defensively responsible, make sure they can't hit any areas to score points. So the amateur system, especially the Olympics, is really good for that. But when it comes to certain situations where you're constantly being clinched, you have to practice your clinch denial. You're being thrown around the ring. You're being prematurely exhausted, or worse, the enemy is practicing illegal tactics on you. You have to know how to counter those things, which you hardly see in the amateurs because number one, the rounds are shorter. Number two, the matches are shorter. And number three, the refs are more hyperactive. They're looking for illegal tactics, trying to keep the fight clean. Whereas in professional boxing, there's a lot of shit that happens that amateur refs let go. And you got to know what you're doing. Like, for example, a good example of this is Shakur Stevenson versus Valdez. Shakur Stevenson left his hand out there too long, and Valdez just went out and grabbed his hands with his 2 hands. He just put 2 hands on his arm and grabbed it, and Shakur freaked the fuck out and looked at the ref. I'm like, bro, if that had been anybody else, like a Tank, you would have caught a right hook from hell and been on your ass. Like that's the key difference between boxing and fighting. Boxing, there's a specific rule set. In fighting, there's a lot of different dynamics that you have to get your head wrapped around. Like actively working in the clinch, turning, pivoting, or grabbing someone and turning them against the rope so you're no longer on the rope. Those are things that you learn when you're actually fighting in a professional boxing match. The amateurs, again, it's just that little pity-pat point system where you just score enough points, unless you're somebody like Stanionis or someone who could just get knockouts consistently in the amateurs. Because knockouts are hard to get in the amateurs. So, they got the bigger gloves, they got the headgear sometimes, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I was going to say, speaking of Shakur Stevenson, it is now, I think, somewhat reported that he's going to be facing that Japanese dude, Tsuchirino Yoshino. And I'm not too sure when that date's going to happen, but would you consider this to be a duck for Shakur Stevenson?
Ducking who?
coming into 135, fighting a step down in competition.
Well, I mean, who would he be ducking?
I mean, I don't know, maybe Tank Davis.
Nah, I'm sorry. Nobody's fucking ducking Tank. Tank and his team have shown that it's very clear that they don't have any real interest in fighting the best. Their only concern is making lots of money, even though fighting the best is how you make lots of fucking money. But anyways, no, I'm not going to say anyone's ducking Tank because Tank can fight whoever he wants. And I don't mean that as in I want to see him fight whoever. I mean he has the ability to send contracts to whoever. Like for example, when Devin Haney was fighting on the zone, all of Tank's stands told you that you can't fight Tank if you're on the zone. He just allegedly sent a contract to Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia has fought nowhere but the zone. So they're full of shit, and they don't actually want to fight any comp. And if they don't want to fight Devin Haney, they definitely don't want to fight Shakur Stevenson. So no, I'm not gonna say he's ducking Tank. I think he is full of shit though. I think this entire time he's pretty much known that he wasn't going to be able to fight the people that he called out. He called out George Kambosos, which, you know, after two fucking decision losses, why would he want to fight you? He called out Jose Zepeda, who's a goddamn golden boy. So that's, you know, another one, which, like, why would that even happen? The Isaac Cruz thing, well, although I believe Isaac Cruz not wanting to fight him, that's perfectly fine. But Bob Arum himself said that he wouldn't even make that fight. So there's that. So I believe there's a lot of capping. There's a lot of capping on his side as well. So I'm not gonna say he's ducking, but I do believe he is full of shit, and I don't think that he's as solid as everyone swears he is. Do I think that Shakur will fight if the opportunity presented itself? No, I don't. I don't think that Shakur will take that fight, especially now in his career. And it's like we always talk about. These dudes have gotten on Shakur's dick, convinced him that he's pound for pound number one, the best boxer in the world. So he's like, okay, cool. If I already have you thinking that without me fighting anyone, why would I then take a dangerous fight? I'm already looked at as pound for pound the best fighter in the world. Why would I then put myself at risk when I already have what I want? People think I'm the best. So now all I have to do is say I'm not fighting this person because they would lose to me anyway. It would be too easy. Therefore, I'm not fighting this person. And then they'll find somebody else to hype up. So I'm not gonna say he's ducking, but of all the people he could have fought, like Jermaine Ortiz, Raymond Murataya, even Abdullah Mason, other people, those people have looked too good. Like Jermaine Ortiz, if Jermaine Ortiz got knocked out by Lomachenko, yeah, he probably had no problem making that fight. Issue is he fucked around and, in my opinion, beat Loma. So he looked too good. So he can't give that to Shakur as his first fight. Same with the same with Murataya. Murataya has been looking great. He's looking fantastic. I believe he's undefeated, very fast, very strong. Fuck around and do something. Can't have that.
Yeah. I just think like with this opponent, like I just think Shakur being I should say like him fighting this opponent doesn't make his look any better heading into 135 because in my opinion I think if I was in his shoes, if I wanted a real challenge, I would want to fight somebody that is actually good on my resume. And I think the best fight for Shakur for that listing would definitely be Jermaine Ortiz. Definitely Abdullah Mason. I don't see why not. Abdullah can easily, take a good fight with him, and that'll make his resume a lot better because, even if he doesn't, win, at least he's actually going to get a lot more promotional gain fighting Shakur early in his career, and he could fight Raymond Murataya. That would have been a lit fight to have. I think Shakur knew coming into 135 like you are obviously like the former world champion moving up in weight, so if you're in that position you should be fighting like the next best available opponent other than this opponent to make yourself look more marketable because regardless of like what some of the defendants of his case want to say, or people that want to defend him say that, oh well, he's trying to move forward, he's not trying to go backwards. He's just following the rules through the WBC just to get his world title opportunity. That doesn't make any sense because it's like rankings don't matter. Like if I'm Shakur Stevenson, I should have been fought Jermaine Ortiz or or somebody notable just to keep yourself busy, because at least that way you have like a good notable name coming into 135, and then on top of that you'll be a lot better off for your for your own career, and the fans will respect you more for you fighting somebody that has some has some credibility heading into the division. So
Right. No, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. You're definitely not wrong. There. And just to be clear, which fighter were we just talking about?
Shakur.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, I myself am not. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm high on Shakur, but I need to see a little bit more. I don't think that he is as solid as he's being advertised as, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see, and I hope we can get some decent fights made because this dude Yoshino. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was on the short list. I figured of all the people he could realistically fight at top rank, this son bitch was on there. He has a common opponent with Lomachenko and Nakatani. They both stopped him, so they can play. Oh, he's a solid puncher. Da 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 da. But yeah, like he just showed, he hasn't really accomplished much in his life. He hasn't held the belt holder. I mean, he hasn't fought. I don't believe he's fought a belt holder and was successful. So I mean, like, come on. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. This is cool, but I can't wait to see more. I'm really. Yeah. Hopefully, we can get Haney versus Shakur at like 140 or something.
Yeah, but on top of that, I don't see why he can't fight Frank Martin, because like that actually makes a lot of sense, right? Wouldn't that make sense if you want to fight Frank Martin heading into your first fight at 135?
Yeah, but the thing is, Frank Martin looked too good his last fight. You know how that goes.
Yeah, Shakur Stevenson gonna get clipped.
Yeah, he looked too good. He looked too good, and they could just use the size of the street bullshit for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy because I just think he's just moving right now. It's just like it's kind of making me feel like he's doing the same thing what Terrence Crawford's doing, and I don't know, like I feel like he's gonna end up being like a duck, but I hope he doesn't, and I hope he just gets these fights done.
I mean, like I said, I mean, there's a blueprint to all of this, and that's the bad thing about you gassing these dudes up is that they don't have any incentive. They don't have any incentive to get these fights. It's the same as Tank stands over here sucking his dick, treating him like a rapper, talking about, oh, he makes a lot of bank, he's from the streets, blah blah blah. His tattoos, his braids, his hair. They're not talking about him fighting Devin Haney, so therefore Tank believes that he doesn't have to fight Devin Haney. You got motherfuckers calling him the king of 135, and he doesn't have shit. Like, so imagine you going to 135, accomplishing absolutely nothing, beating absolutely nobody, and people are saying you're the king. Why would you want to fight the real king? You don't have to.
Yeah, it's just sad, man.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah, because I was listening in on Just Do's boxing show with Tito Mercado. Shout out to Tito and Just Do, but I'll be going live with Tito tomorrow, and he said that he wants to fight Shakur Stevenson because if he could get him out of the picture, then what that would mean is that that'll put Shakur's I should say his like title reigns to rest if he ever gets into like any tough opposition that could potentially beat him, because like I think at this point of his career, like he's at like the highest peak of his prime right now, but I think skills wise his skills are not being sharpened, and I just have like a really like worried feeling to think that Shakur Stevenson, he's gonna do a lot more, mistakes in his career to like not fight good opposition. And I think that's going to be like the biggest problem because like for me at least, I'm just a believer of if you don't sharpen your blades to fight the better opposition, then you're going to end up being a vulnerable target. And I think at this stage for Shakur's career, if I was in his position, I would want all the toughest fights in my career right now. I don't want no easy fights, because if you do that, you're gonna get clipped. Like I think that's how it's gonna end. And I mean, like if people think I'm a hater, I'm not a hater. It's just, like I'm saying out of pure tough love, as a, like as if he was like my family member. I'm gonna be straight up with him. Like I'm not gonna lie and say, "Oh, nah, man, just keep fighting these type of like opponents and just keep on doing it." Right? No, like you got to get back into it, man. You got to mix it up with all these tough opposition names, and eventually, you're gonna be recognized for your hard work. So I think I don't know if Shakur's trying to pull off like a Keith Thurman type of move or like a Crawford move, but it makes me feel like he's in that same boat with him. Like he's trying to make him feel like either he's trying to gaslight himself up too much to think that he doesn't need to put in any more work, when in all honesty, like you still have to prove yourself to show why you are who you are. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell that Top Rank is trying to put him in position to be undisputed at 135 and take advantage of all the belts once Haney's gone. I can tell, but like I said, I got to see more from this dude. I really do. I got to see more, whether that be in training or in the actual ring. I got to see something different. You leave it to Twitter niggas and they'll try to tell you that this dude, not even Shakur, but the guy in the mustard bottle, coach, is pound for pound number one. Da, 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 da. But the reality is that he hasn't. Like, I haven't seen Shakur in a situation where I've been actively picking against him. Same as with Tank. I haven't seen him in a situation where people are actively picking against him. So I gotta see more.
Yeah, it's sad because, like and like in this generation of fighters, like there's so much competition that can easily make boxing change up a lot fast with like how what the competition will scale. But I think at this point, like it's it's more of like a do or die type of season. And I don't know, I think personally, as far as who's going to end their career, end their career the right way, I think Devin Haney will be the one to prove all the doubters wrong. And I think he will be one of the more successful fighters coming out of this generation to be pound for pound number one, if not all time great fighters.
Yeah, I mean, I think that of all the young ones, Duran Ennis has the highest ceiling. But yeah, I mean, Devin Haney's the only one that's proven that he wants greatness, that he wants to get certain fights made. While everyone else is just standing around talking shit. And in a minute, I'm about to put Tank and Ryan Garcia in cahoots because I'm starting to think that maybe this is a telephone scheme to avoid answering Devin Haney's call.
Oh, really? What happened?
Uh, but well, I'm saying that Tank and Ryan Garcia are doing all this nonsense when they both have had opportunities to fight Haney. They both turned him down or made excuses why they shouldn't fight him, and now they're doing this massive media circus. When Oscar's talking about I haven't gotten the contract, and now talking about now I got the contract today, when they both could have fought Devin Haney by now. So I'm starting to think it's all a media circus, so nobody has to fight Haney.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. Because like I was even hearing that I was hearing from Oscar De La Hoya like about Tank and Ryan being solidified. As far as the contract goes, but I don't think that's happening.
I don't know. He's on Instagram holding a piece of paper saying that it's gonna be good to go. So I don't really know. I don't really give a shit. I never really liked the fight. People only like this fight because they know Tank is gonna get a highlight reel knockout, and that's cool to look at. But ultimately, that's not gonna benefit the sport because Ryan Garcia is not good. That's not a question I would even need answered. Like, he's not good. He's not talented, and Tank is gonna smoke him. So whenever you mention Devin Haney, all of a sudden, oh, all these concessions can't be made. Oh, Tank need ASI for that to happen. Oh, Devin Haney would design. Oh, Devin Haney was top ranked. Like, all this bullshit has been debunked. Just say y'all don't want Tank fighting that dude because you're afraid he might lose, and move on. You guys are attracted to him like he's fucking Future or Gucci Man or some shit. He's a nigga that boxes. That's it.
Yeah, so if Gervonta can't get the Ryan Garcia fight, who should be the fill-in opponent? Should it just go? Should it just be Devin Haney right away?
Yeah, I don't see why not, because this is a fight that we should have gotten years ago.
Hmm. Yeah, because I think that's the best opponent right now. Or like I don't know if Frank Martin, could be that next guy, but I don't see how that fight can't be made as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all just bullshit, and all the bullshit starting to get unraveled. It's rather tragic to see. But anyways, I got an early morning, so I'm gonna try to get some rest. But yeah, thank you for having me on, and y'all all make sure to like and subscribe.
Yep, got it. Appreciate you for having on, or like appreciate you for coming on, and like I'll talk with you like again.
For sure. Yeah,
All right, all right, y'all. I will see you guys later. Peace out. Salute to the mighty, mighty LDPC TWT family. I'm out. Peace out and goodbye. Here's the outro.